Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of minds to think. With this quote from Albert Einstein in our minds, on the behalf of Father Agnew School, New Delhi, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the parents and students to a little presentation we have prepared on the new National Education Policy of 2020, which replaces the 34-year-old education policy of 1986. But firstly, I would like to invite Father Carvalho, our director, to address the gathering.
Good morning, parents. I have the pleasure of introducing to you the presentation made by the teachers. Our government has prepared a new policy, what's called National Education Policy, primarily aggregating what was done in the past, but focusing on what is required for the future. Our country's education policy has practically relied on what was happening in the past. It's not futuristic. And as a result, you see there's a lot of dependence on the books, on the textbook, on memory, retention. But that world had changed. The economy of today is based on innovation, is based on critical thinking, on seeing where you see nothing. This is what innovation is all about. The power of thinking, the power of analysis, the power of going beyond the text. In other words, imagining what one learns. So education policy is based on creating a new future for India. But a lot will depend on what parents and students do about it. If you start thinking that education is about getting marks by learning and recalling what is in the books, you are not going to get forward. To go forward, you would start being analytic, questioning the things that you know appear to be right, but they may not be right, but knowing how it works. So I wish all of you that you pay attention to this new policy, the policy that wants to take India forward. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. The new education policy is built on the foundational pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. This policy aims to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society. The policy has laid out certain key features or key principles to achieve these goals. First is recognition, identification, and strengthening of the unique capabilities of each student, and this can only be done through the holistic development both in academic and non-academic spheres. Next, the focus will be more given on the multidisciplinary approach and also encouraging our students in innovation and thinking out of the box, and this again can only be achieved through autonomy and encouraging our students. The first major theme in the document is the introduction of a new pedagogical system of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which replaces the hitherto and the well-established 10 plus 2 structure of school. The first 5 years, which we now be calling as the foundational stage, is divided into two parts. The initial 3 years as preschool or Anganwadi, and the 2 years of primary classes of classes 1 and 2. And here we will see that the teaching will focus more on play-based or activity-based teaching. And again, in the initial phase, in the foundational phase, we will see that the focus will now be on developing of the language skill. Now moving to the second stage, which is the preparatory stage, here again, as continuing from the foundational stage, we will see that the focus will be on developing the language skill and also the numeracy skill of the student. Now next is the middle stage, and all the important developments introduced in N.E.P can be seen from this period onwards, or from this stage onwards. Here we will see a move towards hands-on experience and a move towards competency-based learning and a move away from rote learning. Again, it will be in this stage that the students will be introduced with the core subjects like math, science and social science, etc. Now the next and the final stage is the secondary stage, also divided in two phases, which is classes 9th and 10th and classes 11th and 12th. And the major change which is here introduced in secondary stage is a move towards multidisciplinary approach, which will give a variety of subject combinations to the students. And again, there will be no harsh lines between your commerce subjects, science subjects and humanities. Apart from this, I want to take you through from some other important highlights and features of N.E.P 2020. The first is the holistic development of the child. And talking first about the curriculum will be reduced to only the core essentials of the subjects, and now because of the reduction we will see that it will be filled with interactive classroom and competency-based learning. Again, the N.E.P not only focuses on the cognitive development of the child, but also encouraging the social ability and emotional ability of the child as well. And finally, to talk about the knowledge of India, this will include knowledge of ancient India and its contribution on our contemporary India, modern India. The subjects which will include in this will have maths, science, philosophy, yoga, etc. The next is a move towards experiential learning. As the name suggests, the learning will be based on hands-on experience. And we'll see a move towards competency-based learning. And another aspect under the experiential learning is art integrated project, which the students are already made familiar with, in which they will be using various aspects of art and culture and inculcating it with other subjects. And finally, it's a new introduction which is sports integration, in which we'll see that physical activities will be introduced to develop the self-discipline aspect and the teamwork within the students. Next important aspect is talking further about the flexibility in choosing the subjects. Now we'll see there will be no hard separation between your humanities streams, science streams, vocational and academic streams, and similarly curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities, which means that all the activities will be important, and similarly all the activities will be part of evaluation as well. The next is an emphasis being given to multilingualism. Wherever possible, the medium of instruction till grade 5, but preferably till grade 8, will be in the mother tongue or in the regional languages. Again, apart from your Indian languages and English, foreign languages will also be offered at secondary level. And parents, the teaching of all these languages will take place through experiential learning. Next, a greater emphasis will be given on the introduction of contemporary subjects like machine learning, data science, global citizenship education, organic living, design thinking, artificial intelligence and coding. Again, we'll see greater emphasis being given on the integration of vocational studies. Now, all students will have to participate in a 10-day bagless period in which they will intern with a vocational expert. Apart from that, the students will also be exposed to activities outside of schools, for example, like visiting places of historical or cultural importance, or visiting any vocational experts of their state. Continuing with the aim of a holistic development of the learner, emphasis will be given on the health education as well, in which basic training in health, including preventive health, mental health and well-being, nutrition, personal and public hygiene, and first aid, and also detrimental and damaging effects of alcohol and tobacco and other drugs will be taught to the students. Next, another important aspect of the document is a move towards digitalization, in which we will be seeing that new tools to improvement in digital infrastructure, online teaching platforms and tools, creation of content and online assessment, accessibility of digital learning, virtual labs, blended model of learning, and educational software in different Indian languages will be provided and will be taken initiatives on. The second major theme of the documentation is a move towards making education or learning universal and having access to everyone at all levels. Because the aim of education should be to help the children of India who have not got the opportunity because of the circumstances of their birth and background to come up in front. So in which the document has categorized the socio-economically disadvantaged group into different categories like gender identities, socio-cultural identities, geographical identities, disabilities and socio-economic conditions. To uplift them, we can see that the government will now introduce many scholarship and selective cash transfers to incentivize the parents to send their students to or send their children to school, and also there will be free boardings which will be included to help those students who may be coming from far off areas. And also we'll see that the government will take initiative to introduce a gender inclusion fund in which education or learning will be provided to all girls and also transgender students as well. With all these changes in the curriculum, the textbooks will also undergo a change. These type of textbooks in regional languages will be a top priority of the N.E.P 2020 so that the students have access to high quality learning. Now again we'll see the availability of downloadable and printable textbooks being provided and being accessible to everyone. Again an effort has been made and will be made to reduce the weight of school bags and also the weight of textbooks. Talking about the assessment, which is a very important part of the document, we will see taking forward the concept of a holistic approach. The board examination will undergo a change in which the board examination will only test the core essentials of the lesson or core essentials of the subject. That means that the board examination will become a bit more simpler. Now we can see the changes in terms that the board examination may be annual, semester or modular, but the decision has not yet been taken. Again, to carry forward with the whole holistic development, the report card will also go a massive change in which the report card will be multi-dimensional, which will not only show the progress of the child but also the uniqueness of the child as well. Again, to trace the progress of the child throughout the school academic year, not only testing the child in grade 10th and 12th, we'll see that the students will sit for the school examination in classes 3, 5 and 8, apart from of course our grade 10th and 12th board examinations. Talking about the timeline of N.E.P 2020, so parents, we can see by 2022 and 23 the teachers will be trained as per the new N.E.P 2020, and by 2025-26 the N.E.P will be implemented in the foundational stage, and by this time the children till grade 3 will be well acquainted with the new N.E.P 2020, and finally by 2040 we will see that this document or this new curriculum will be fully operational. So parents, this was a little presentation we had prepared on the new N.E.P 2020. Thank you for joining with us.